for responding to the dinner which I organized, so that we come and we share some few points when you are here. The first point we need to clarify is that in the world, I think there are something like 190 countries or more. But these parties are from maybe 30 or so countries. And we call them fraternal parties. How did they become fraternal? They were made fraternal by historic circumstances. So that's how now Europe comes to Africa and to Asia. But the mistake they made, instead of coming to trade, they now came to take slaves and to conquer. And to cut a long story short, by 1900, the whole of Africa had been colonized, except for Ethiopia. India had been colonized. Burma had been colonized. Indochina, Vietnam, and so on. And even China was being attacked, had been attacked a number of times by the Western countries. Now, here, Africa was colonized because of the weaknesses of our chiefs and kings, who did not organize us well to defend ourselves. In some instances, African armies defeated the European armies, like the one called Tetsuayo, the one of South Africa, defeated the British army in one of the battles called in Sandulwana. But because of poor organization, the whole of Africa was colonized, except for Ethiopia, where the Ethiopians defeated the Italians in 1896. So by 1900, after 400 years of slave trade, Africa now was physically colonized. Therefore, all these liberation movements which came later were in the footsteps of the ANC. That's why we are fraternal parties, because we are all parties fighting for freedom, linked by history. So therefore, you have the three reasons that enabled us to regain our freedom. Reason number one, the African resistance here in Africa. The Asian resistance in Asia, in India, in Indochina. Then the solidarity of the socialist countries, of the communist countries, of the Soviet Union, of China, and later on of other countries like Cuba, like North Korea, they extended support. Then thirdly, the imperialist countries weakening themselves through the fratricide wars of the First and Second World War. So this is the historical context where these parties have become fraternal. We are fraternal because we are fighting Western imperialism together in different spheres. Now, what we should share is experiences. So therefore, for the parties to remain relevant, they must solve the problem of the socio-economic problems of the people. And security. Security is very crucial. You start with security, then you deal with infrastructure, but you must deal with wealth and jobs. Because if you don't do that, you are going to be in trouble. Now, finally, I see a lot of people who really mix up things. Today, I was calling myself a capitalist, but actually I'm not a capitalist, I'm a patriot. But I'm using capitalism to solve problems. But I also use socialism, I use both. Because the people who have not had time to study these things, they really waste our time. So this shallowness of saying either capitalist or socialist is wrong. Both of them can work if they are applied well. You have seen it work very well in China. China, they have used both the socialist model, but also the market economy principles. So therefore, I'm glad, that's why I actually came. I said, when they told me, some people were saying Todong should give the dinner, I said, no, as a mobilizer, I can't miss this chance. When I hear all these young people there, I'll have to go there and try to infect them with the Pan-Africanist ideas we have been fighting for the last 1 century. Thank you very much. I wish you good luck.
Of Turkmenistan to move close. This delegation has been led by His Excellency Rada Pena, the Deputy Foreign Directorate of External Relations. Those gifts shouldn't go back to the chairman. They should be handed. The delegation is headed by the Secretary General, Senator Hassan Omar Hassan, flanked by a picture with our host. Let's have this is a sizable delegation led by Comrade Dr. Akol Paul Kodet. Zimbabwe is headed by Abednego Chube, the Rwanda Patriotic Front. We have Comrade Museveni Portrais Oluze, the President, flanked by Ismail Mkumba and the Honorable Vitumbiko Mumba. Makes our democracy credible, and we want to thank them for participating in the just concluded elections. We want to promise you that Uganda, Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, together with the members of the Interparty Organization for Dialogue and the Chairman of the National Consultative Forum. As we prepare for the photo moment, we pray that you remain here in Uganda but focus on what unites us. We want to thank all the security agencies, the media fraternity, our staff.
Your Excellency, I need to thank you for giving me this team and accepting that with this team we conduct this election using the party structure. And they have not let us down and they have worked tirelessly to deliver victory for the party. Your Excellency, we thank you for always mentoring leaders, for always guiding us, refocusing us, and reminding us for the love we should have for this country and the people. We thank you for always reminding us that man is in constant struggle between man and man, man and nature, man and science and technology. We know that these struggles will always continue. We thank our comrades from other fraternal parties for accepting our invitations and coming. The solidarity you have shown is a solidarity of brotherhood and comradeship. We thank you and we pray we maintain this friendship and commitment.
Excellencies, allow me, on behalf of fellow Secretaries General and other leaders from liberation movements and political parties, and our friends from sister parties gathered here tonight to sincerely thank Your Excellency, the National Resistance Movement Secretariat, for the warm hospitality and comradeship extended to all delegations on this historic occasion marking your inauguration, Mr. President. Permit me also to respectfully acknowledge the distinguished parties and movements represented here tonight, which have already been mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening is more than a dinner. It is a gathering of histories, struggles, experiences, and aspirations that continue to shape the political destiny of our nations and our continent. Political parties and liberation movements have historically carried the hopes of our people, the struggle for freedom, dignity, justice, peace, and development. Yet, the responsibility before us today is even greater. Our people no longer judge parties by the history of liberation alone. They do so by the ability to deliver peace, stability, opportunity, inclusion, and prosperity in their everyday lives. Today, during the inauguration ceremony, Mr. President delivered a message that I believe speaks not only to Uganda and the NRM, but to all political parties represented here. He reflected on the pillars that the NRM has sought to build over the last 4 decades: peace, economic development, economic infrastructure, wealth creation for individuals and families, and the expansion of markets at national, regional, continental, and global levels. Most importantly, Mr. President reminded us that sustainable politics must reject sectarianism and division. Politics that emphasizes identity over the shared interests of ordinary citizens can never build durable nations. Our politics must remain people-centered, development-oriented, and anchored in the aspirations of Wananchi, the people who seek a better life through their own hard work and enterprise. As Secretaries General, we occupy a unique space within our parties. We are not merely administrators of party structures. We are custodians of institutional memory, ideology, organization, discipline, and continuity. We help translate vision into action and principles into programs that touch the lives of the people. That is why the President's emphasis on the new Kisanja spirit, no more sleep, carries profound meaning for all of us. It is a call for renewed energy, seriousness, innovation, and hard work. A reminder that political relevance is never permanent. It must continuously be earned through service and responsiveness to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, that spirit resonates deeply with the liberation traditions across Africa and the Global South. It reflects the enduring belief that there is no alternative to commitment when serving the people and defending national aspirations. Excellencies, dear friends, in a rapidly changing world marked by economic uncertainty, geopolitical tensions, technological transformation, and rising expectations from young people, our parties must strengthen solidarity and cooperation among ourselves. We therefore must continue exchanging experiences, strengthening party institutions, empowering young leaders and women, and advancing the development agenda of our nations and continent. Strong parties build strong democracies. Strong institutions build stable nations, and united political movements can shape a more self-reliant and prosperous Africa. Dear colleagues, as we leave this gathering tonight, may we carry with us not only the spirit of celebration, but also a renewed sense of duty. History has entrusted our generation with the responsibility to preserve the gains of liberation while also responding to the realities of a new era. Let this be our collective commitment, that our parties shall never lose touch with the people, that we shall continue working tirelessly for peace, unity, development, and human dignity, and that we shall move forward with the spirit of no more sleep, with courage, solidarity, and determination. On behalf of all fellow Secretaries General gathered here this evening, I once again congratulate Your Excellency, the NRM, and the people of Uganda on this important national occasion. May friendship among our parties continue to grow stronger. May solidarity among our peoples continue to deepen, and may Africa continue to rise with confidence, unity, and purpose. I thank you all and wish you a pleasant evening. Mwebale nyo, mrakoze kane, asante sana, shukran jazilan.
I would like to once again warmly congratulate His Excellency, the President of Uganda, upon his swearing in and inauguration earlier today. I thank all the NRM leaders at all levels for the role they played for securing the victory of His Excellency the President, and indeed the victory of all the NRM members and the party. Thank you very much for your effort. I thank the Secretary Generals from the sister countries and welcome them and ask them to stay longer in the Pearl of Africa. Lastly, with the inauguration of His Excellency, the President today, a new chapter has opened for the implementation of the NRM Manifesto 2026-2031. Allow me, Your Excellency, to call upon all the NRM members at all levels to exercise their mandate, roles and responsibility in the implementation of the manifesto.